So welcome everyone. Today what we're going to do is we're going to choose a minor memory, and yes, there'll be stressful memories because addressing one of the reasons why we're going to help to reprocess the memory and focus on rescripting the memory today is that these memories that have been stressful, that have been traumatic, are continually sending danger alert signals to the brain, which is then going to dysregulate the nervous system. And as we know, a lot of our symptoms when we're ill, when we're not well, and this also works for depression, anxiety, for addictions, for phobias and fears, and a whole host of other issues. Chemical sensitive, food sensitivities, anorexia I've worked with, nail biting, all kinds of issues that people are dealing with are all basically nervous system dysregulation. Insomnia, right? Another one. And I could go on and on and on, list a huge number of things that are all about nervous system dysregulation, brain being in alert and danger, and needing us to soothe, to calm, to regulate, to show ourselves compassion and care. So one of those is to rescript these stressful memories, because whilst they're still there, and most of them are there in the unconscious part of the brain, which we're not aware of. So we have the conscious part of the brain, which is about 2% of the time we operate from. That the conscious part of the brain will be, oh, I'll just do this today. I'll just go for a walk, and that will help with my insomnia. Right? That's the conscious part of the brain. But the unconscious is going, hang on a minute. The reason why you're not sleeping is because I feel like I'm in danger, because something really stressful happened with you. There's a lot of emotions still there that you haven't processed because you pushed them away, you neglected them, you avoided them. It wasn't safe for you to express those emotions. And so now I'm going to keep you awake. Yep. So that's the unconscious part of the brain where all of that's going on. So often the problems that we're having are in the unconscious part of the brain. So, and that's where the memories reside, in that hippocampus, the amygdala, that part of the brain where human beings, where 80% of our brain is emotional, our emotional brain. And yet that's the part that we neglect the most. Nobody wants to go there. Nobody wants to feel these emotions. I'm working with a lot of men at the moment, and they just do not want to feel those emotions. They're so shut down. They don't even have words for the emotions. They're like, oh, I feel this, but I don't know what it is.
True.
And it's so hard for them because they taught at a very young age to be tough, be strong, don't cry. You're the man of the house, and all these messages that we give our young men. I've got two sons, and I'm definitely to blame there as well. I wish I could do it all over again now. I wish I knew what I know now. When I was parenting, golly, it would have helped a lot. They're gorgeous young men. They're wonderful young men, but I know I've left them with a few wounds. Yeah, so okay, so what we're going to do today, has anybody got any questions so far about memories, rescripting memories, reprocessing memories? All good. Okay. So the most important parts that we need to address with memories is the two main ways that the brain, there's 5, 6 different ways, but the two main ones that the memory the brain holds on to memories is the images. So nearly all of us, when you go to a memory, the first thing that will happen is you'll have an image of that memory. You'll have pictures, and they can be in color, they can be in black and white. You can be close to them, you can be distant from them. However your brain represents that memory, the image will usually comes to mind first. There's a small, I think it's like 0.1% of people who don't have images, but they can still use their imagination to help with that. So images, number one. Secondly, the emotions. So very quickly the brain will see the image and then it'll immediately go to the emotion. So for example, the memory is of, when I was a little girl, I was this tiny little person and this big man, my father, was yelling at me and shouting at me and hitting me. That's the memory. So they'll immediately have the image of that in their mind, see themselves as the little girl and this big man towering over them, frightening them, and then they'll feel all the emotions, right? And so those two things, we've got to help the brain to process those emotions, help the brain to change those images, and then help the brain to rescript. When it's ready, then we rescript it. All right. So Lisa's been very courageous here and offered to help us through this. And other people who are here also, you can either just watch Lisa and you can go back to this and practice it yourself, or you can choose a memory and work through it yourself. But please, at the end, make sure that you ask me any questions that you have so that you don't go away with that memory, parts of that memory, still hovering around. All right. I want you to make sure that and please just choose one memory, a minor memory that's not too triggering, that's not going to be too big because we won't have the time. I'm not saying that I can't help you to change that memory. I can, absolutely. I've had the biggest memories that you can imagine that I've helped people with. But today, for this demonstration, we want to just choose a minor one in the time frame that we have. Okay. So and also the wonderful thing about this method is that I actually don't even need to know anything about that memory to be able to help you. Okay, I don't need to know any of the details. You know it inside of your head, and I can just guide you through it without knowing anything about it. All right. So if no one has any questions, yes, Lisa?
I know we talked at the beginning, and I was going to go over this memory of this trauma from 9 years ago. You said something that's low stress, or no, stressful but low intensity. So I think I need to
Yes.
change it. I think I need to do something from my childhood that created a lack of safety in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You have that memory.
Yeah, I
And
do.
often as we're talking, your brain will start popping in memories.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
what I always say is trust that, trust what your brain gives you in the moment,
okay.
because that one is the one that needs to be addressed. All
You
right.
mean other
So
ones that come in or no?
that's great. Yeah.
No, so I'm
Yeah.
not clear. Are you saying that if other memories come in, trust those other ones coming in as
Yeah,
well?
just as we no, just as we're talking,
Yep.
often your unconscious will bring up a memory and you think, oh, why am I even thinking about that? That was so long ago. I'm saying trust that one.
Yes.
Trust the one that your brain's giving you, because that means it's safe for you to process that memory. All right.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so when you're ready, just everyone just closing your eyes and just notice your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your breath as it's coming in and out. Notice the seat underneath you. Notice your feet on the floor, your toes relaxing. Notice your arms relaxing, your fingers relaxing. Just breathing in and out. Notice your shoulders relaxing, your jaw relaxing, all the muscles in your face relaxing. Breathing in and out. And now what I'd like you to do is to find that memory, step into that memory, and notice what you see. See what you see. Looking around you, the colours, images, everything about it. Hear what you hear. Feel what you feel. And notice where you feel that in your body. Notice any smells, any tastes, and go to that part of the memory that bothers you. Have you got that, Lisa?
Yeah.
Yep. You decided on that one as a child when you didn't feel safe. Now, what's the worst part about that memory? And how strong is it first? 0 to 10. 10 being the strongest. You want to keep it below 6 if you can. What's strong about it?
Probably about an 8, and it's sort of for like a nanosecond, I thought I might drown.
Right. The feeling
Yeah.
or the actual what was happening? You felt like you were going to drown
Yeah.
in the memory, or was it the feeling of I'm going to drown?
Yeah. And like a sinking feeling because,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, a
Okay.
sinking feeling. Yeah. Like I'm going down in the water
Yes.
because
And
what was supposed to be, sorry,
can
go ahead.
you tell me a couple of things that's happening in the memory? How old are you?
5 or 6.
Mm-hmm. And remember, at any time you're working on a memory and the emotions get too high, use your hands and just push it away, right, to where it's comfortable. Immediately your brain will sense safety.
Okay.
Okay. When you look at this memory, so you're between 5 and 6, something's happened and you're left with this sinking feeling, like
Yeah.
drowning feeling, right? You have the image of it
Mm-hmm.
and you have the emotion of it. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're just a little girl. There's somebody saying something to you, doing something that's making you feel very unsafe, right? Can you see that person?
Mm-hmm.
You can see them, yes? Okay. So what I want you to do is when you look at them, is it frightening you?
No, not initially. Initially,
What?
I'm
Yeah,
trying to swim to them in some deep water in a mucky creek, the creek down below
right,
where, because it was deep
right. Mm-hmm.
swim yet. And so they said, swim to me and I'll be here.
Right,
Started to swim out to them and they moved back further. And so when I brought my head up out of the water, they weren't there. And then
right, right.
started going
Okay,
down, feeling scared, and then I
right.
just,
Okay, okay.
yeah. Just so
You're all
sad.
right. Do you need to push it away? Do you
No.
need to push it away further? You're okay to handle it?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, can you see that person now? Because
Yeah.
you're no longer there now. You're no longer, you survived, didn't you? You got out of the creek,
Yeah.
right? And you're out of the creek now. You're with
Well,
that person.
I'm still in the creek. I'm still in the creek.
Okay, what do you need to do to get out of the creek?
Um,
What will help you?
okay, well, sorry. I guess he eventually, picks me up and then
Yes,
we carry
that's
on
right.
walking in the shallow water, but we still stayed in the creek for a long time, because we
Okay,
were
so what I want you to do is whilst you're in the creek and not feeling safe and
yeah,
frightened, what does that little girl need? What
um
can you give her now? Your adult self, what can you give her?
a hug, holding her.
Yes.
She's
Good, good, excellent.
she's
And
safe.
what does she need to hear?
And then I'm here for you. I'm here. We're here. We're safe. Um, it's just a sense
Good.
of trust that I won't
Yeah.
abandon you. I'm here for
Good,
you.
good, good. Excellent, excellent. And now look at her. How does she look now?
And she still just needs to release, you know. She's just
What is she holding on to?
just so much upset and hurt and sense of like betrayal and abandonment.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. So she needs something more, doesn't she? What else
Yeah,
does she need?
I don't know. um, she just needs to know that she's precious and that she would let anything bad happen to her and that she's loved.
Yes. She needs some proofs, doesn't she?
Needs some what? Sorry.
She needs some
Proof?
proofs. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That she can trust that. How can you give her that?
I don't know.
Listening to her,
Okay. Yeah.
listening
Just
to her whenever she speaks, honoring her feelings,
okay.
honoring what she's saying. You're going to
Yeah.
listen and honor what she has to say and
Right.
help her with compassion, with love, with care.
Okay. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, how does she look now?
You're starting to feel a more self-assured
Good,
and
good, good.
that she's worthy of love and
Yes.
support. And I can't think of the word, but um, oh, what's the word? Presence. She's worthy of the presence
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
of being seen and um honoring her limits, what she can
Her
and can't,
limits.
not
Yeah.
expecting more, pushing more.
Very, very powerful for her to know that. Yes. That's going to be honored. That she knows herself and she needs others to honor that.
Yeah.
Her boundaries, right? Her boundaries.
There
Yes.
comes another
Her
memory too,
capacity. Yeah.
comes
Yeah.
another memory where that wasn't, yeah,
Hey,
right
you
in.
can do that one later. When other memories come up, you
Okay.
can just write them down later and work on them later because they're connected. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
All right. So now she's feeling a lot better, isn't she?
yeah. I just need to push some of those other memories coming up because it's strong.
You
Because
can,
there's
you
a
can,
lot connected to
There's
that.
there's several things you can do. You can put them in a box, put the
Okay.
lid on it and big bow on it. You can put them on a shelf. Yeah, imagine they're all on a shelf and you're going to get to them later. Yeah,
Okay.
whatever helps you. And reassure them that I will get to you. It's important. I will get to you and we'll work on that.
Okay.
Okay. But right now I'm focusing on this one. I need
Yeah.
to clear this one and rescript this one. All right.
Right.
So now the next part is you're on the shore now. But
Okay.
this person let you down, right? They weren't there
Yeah.
like you needed. So now can you see them? You're on the shore with them. Can you see them? Look at them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm going to give you permission now. You have the right to do this. I don't want you to hold back.
Okay.
I want you to tell them now, and you're speaking for that little girl now, what she didn't have the capacity to say and do at the time because she's just tiny, she's scared, she doesn't have the words, but now you do. So I want you to speak on her behalf and I want you to tell that person now what she needed to say to them.
Okay. And do it in my first person, like I feel this, right?
Yeah. You
Okay.
look at that person and tell them directly.
Okay.
Okay, you abandoned me.
Yeah. You abandoned me when you said you would be right there when I came to swim towards you. I trusted you to be there to make me feel safe. The water's deep. I can't see. It's mucky. It's deep, and I can't reach the bottom. And I swam out to you, being courageous, because you encouraged me to do that. And when I got up of the water, you weren't there. And I was so scared. And
Good.
I
Look
thought I
directly at them. Look directly at them
was going
and
to drown.
tell them how you felt.
And I was so scared. And I thought in that little instant I was going to die. And I was going to drown. And I was so scared. And I'm so sad that you weren't there for me. I trusted you. My father. Why would you put me through that? I'm just a little girl. Why would you do something so heartless? I hate you sometimes. You're such a jerk.
Good. And you can even give them a little push. Use your hands, give them a push. Yeah,
Such a
good,
you.
good.
I hate
Because you're going
you.
to get this is helping you to get it out of your body. So it doesn't have to live there in your body any longer. Well done. Well done. You were just a little girl. You couldn't do that at the time, but you can do that now. Let it all out.
You're so mad. You're always treating me like that. You're always discounting me. You're always minimizing. You don't know how to deal with little girls. You're so mean to me. You were mean to me when I was younger. You did unkind things that were so hurtful and just made me feel so unloved. Like I wasn't important to you. Like you didn't care if I felt like I was drowning. Like what the hell?
Well done. Now look at them again, Lisa. Look directly at them now that you've said all of this. You've got it all out. Look at their face. What's the expression on their face now?
Anger. Like
Anger.
they want to hit me.
Yeah. Right, right. But how do you feel as they look at you with that anger on their face, like they want to hit
Scared.
you because you've spoken up, right?
I feel scared.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to have my
Yes.
voice.
Yeah. So what else do you need to say? Anything else? Let them know that you're not scared of them now.
Oh, okay. I'm not scared of you anymore. You want to freaking hit me, I'll call the cops on you. Not letting you treat me like this anymore. I deserve better. I'm worth more than that. Just stop treating me like freaking shit. I've never
Good,
done
good,
anything to you. I
good.
don't know why you do this to me. I don't know what your problem is, but just stop it. Stop it now. Not taking this anymore from you.
Give them another push if you need to. You can
Just
do
pissed
anything
off.
you want in your
Leave me alone.
imagination. You can lock them up if you want to. Put them in front of a firing squad, whatever you need to do.
Ground you right now in the water, and then you see how it feels.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Not be
Take
there.
back your power. Take
Yeah.
back your power. Good, good. Now look at them again. Do they still look angry? They're still frightening you.
No, they're backing down.
Good, good. Well done. Well done, you. Now, what I want you to do, doesn't that feel good? Yeah, feels
It
good,
does, but
doesn't it?
I still want to cry. That little child in me always I think
Yes.
my crying was my powerlessness, you know?
Yeah,
And it's
absolutely. Because
not,
you were just tiny. You had this big person towering over you.
and it's not a normal feeling to be in my power. And so it's like all this emotion comes up, like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
yeah, yeah.
this,
Taking back my power.
Yeah, then I
Good
just want to
job.
show my crying, you know?
Good job. Good job. Well done. Okay, now we're going to go to the next part. This part's really important. This is where a lot of compassion and forgiveness and care comes to us.
Right.
Now what I want you to do is I want you to look at that person.
Yeah,
I want you to step on over into his body
yeah.
and I want you to see through his eyes. See what makes him like this.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you see? What do you feel?
I see a little boy inside my father who had a lot of pressure on him to be perfect in his childhood. Someone who's angry, someone who doesn't have any patience or tolerance for compassion or caring, someone who was severely abandoned in his childhood, going to
Yeah,
boarding school at a young age,
yeah.
um,
He's
not
carrying
having
a
a
lot of wounds, isn't he? A lot of deep wounds.
lot of
He's
what? Sorry.
carrying a lot of wounds. He's hurting. He's in pain. He's
Yes,
suffering.
yes,
Yes?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So now you can see this from a different perspective. What does he need? What does your father need now?
He needs to know that he's valuable, that he's worthy, that he's loved, that
Go
he's
ahead and tell him. Go ahead and tell him.
Dad, you are worthy of love. You are worthy of compassion. You are worthy of being loved, cared for, nurtured, and a sense of belonging to a family, not to feel like you have to be on your own, carrying all your sadness and hurt.
Good.
I love
Good.
you, Dad, and I've always tried to be close to you, but you've always pushed me away. And I wish we could have a better emotional connection.
Can you understand now? Can you let him know that you understand why he pushes you away now?
I think I understand. I don't quite get the dynamics, but I understand that
Okay.
you're probably not comfortable with those softer emotions because I know, or I can imagine it must bring up that lack of those emotions that you were not shown or love or modeled to. So there's a big hole in your heart and you can't go there because then you have to feel your own feelings. And I know that must be painful and hurtful for you.
God. Can you forgive him? Can you let him know if you can forgive him?
Yes, I forgive you, Dad, for the hurt and the pain. I release that now. I'm not going to carry this any longer.
Let him know that he did the best that he could with the skills and tools he had at the time.
I understand and I can see now that you did the very best you could with your skills, your life experiences, and the tools you had.
That you loved me the only way that you knew how.
Yeah, and that you loved me the only way you knew how to.
The way that he loved himself.
Yes, the way you loved yourself.
He couldn't give you what he didn't have, could he?
No,
Yeah.
no, could not give me what you didn't
Let
have.
him let him know. Let him know that he's forgiven.
You were forgiven, Dad. I forgive you because I know that you just couldn't give me what you didn't possess, you didn't have. You didn't have the experience of that. You didn't, have that inside your heart. And so I forgive you.
And now what else does he need?
A hug.
Yeah, give him a hug.
Mhm.
Feel his arms around you, your arms around him.
You,
And as you're
Dad.
holding him tight, just whisper in his ear anything else he needs to hear.
I love you, Dad. You've been such a good dad. So supportive, always standing by me, providing for our family, such a great provider. So many wonderful things you've done for our family. And I'm so grateful and
Listen
blessed.
carefully. Listen carefully. He has some messages. He has some gifts for you. I want you to receive these gifts and messages. That's what's going to help you to move forward in your life now, to feel safe, to feel loved, to be able to heal yourself, to resolve this and move on.
Do you want me to say what the messages are from him?
You can keep that to yourself if you want to, yeah, or you can share them, whatever you like.
I'll share. He's saying I've just always tried to want you to be a strong woman and independent like I had to be. And so that's why I do the things I do as well. But I know you're a strong woman. You're an amazing woman. You're going to do so well moving forward. You're so worthy of love and a great man in your life, great partner, success and in your career, your business. And I'm just really proud of you, even though I don't always tell you, but I am really proud of you. And you're such a strong woman, so courageous. You've been through so much. I don't know how you keep going, but you have. And
Well done. Well done. Now,
that
as
means
you're holding him tight and he's holding you, I want you to squeeze him and squeeze him so tight that you can feel him drifting into your heart. Place your hand on your heart and feel him there with you, where he'll always be. You'll always be together. That bond, that connection, that deep love, you'll always have that. That strength, that comfort. And now take a deep breath in, blow it all out. And now shake out your hands. Give yourself a good shake. That's it. Well done. And you can also bring your hands together like this and just feel that strength there. Feel that comfort there, that warmth. Breathing it all out. Good job. Good job. Well done. Well done, Lisa. You're doing really well. Really well.
yeah, that was
Okay.
awesome.
Now
I'm
we're
glad.
going to go to the next part. Okay, let's keep going. We'll go to the next part of reprocessing and rescripting this memory.
Okay. Yeah, I just have a question for later, so I just written it down. Yeah, okay.
So when you're ready, and
Yep,
always go back to your breath if you need to at any time. Okay,
yep.
so just closing your eyes again and breathing. And going back to that memory now. You were just 5, 6 years old. That sinking, drowning feeling in that creek, frightened, so scared. You thought you were going to die, and the person who was meant to be there for you wasn't there for you. You were terrified. So as you look at that memory now, as you see it, as you feel it, as you hear it, everything about it, it's different now, isn't it?
Yes.
Good. Yep. Is there
Yep.
anything left there? Anything that still needs to be said? Anything that still needs to be felt? Any images that need to change?
I feel like it. No.
Good, good. Now, what's your brain giving you instead? What's it? It's a different image now, isn't it?
Well, it's kind of like I'm not actually in it. I'm kind of removed from it,
Yes,
like
just watching
seeing,
it.
yeah, seeing it maybe happening, but not connected to it.
Good, good. Okay, so you can still re-script that now. As you look at it, you can imagine it's on a movie screen and you're just watching it. And how would you like that movie to end now? How would you like it to look like?
So you mean like change, you can change it, right? Rescript it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's yours now. You can do whatever you want with it.
So not making a new memory, but going back and creating. Okay, so
Whichever,
that I,
whichever, you can do either. You can either completely change that original memory
yeah,
or you can create a completely different one.
yeah, I think my brain will just go back to the old one if I envision. So I think I'm going to go, it's happened. This
Yes,
is how it feels in my brain. I can't change it. That's how it feels. So
follow
I'm
that one. Follow that one. Yep.
okay. So I can't change it. So I'm going to continue forward after this has happened now. And then
Yes,
I'm going to say, okay, let's try it again. And I'll keep holding your hands as I walk
yes,
along the deep water. And you can swim while you're holding me and know that you're, build your confidence that way first.
yep.
So I can feel myself kicking and holding his hands while I'm moving through the
Good,
murky water.
good.
And then he picks me up and brings me to him and says, such a great job. That was great.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. And how does that feel? How does that one feel?
I feel supported. I feel empowered. I feel like my dad's proud of me. I feel
Yeah.
successful.
Everything you need, right? Everything you needed then, everything you
Yeah.
need now.
Yeah.
Yeah, good, good. So you feel that feeling in your body?
Yep.
Yeah. Proud, successful, I did it.
And he's cheering
Excellent.
me. He's proud of me. Yeah.
Cheering you on. And now you've rescripted it. You can add anything you want to it.
Yeah.
Anything at all.
So
You
then
can
as I
hit
build that confidence, you see, then he'll say, do you want to try again where you swim towards me? And so now that I've
yeah,
got the confidence and I know I have the strength, now I can do
good.
that and see him in the
Yeah,
distance. I know he's going to be
yeah.
there. And I swim,
Excellent.
yeah, and he's
Excellent.
still there. He
Excellent.
stays there.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like,
yeah. And these are all messages that are now you're sending to your brain that represent so much for you, right? The core of who you are and what you want. Well
I'm getting
done.
I'm getting chills
Well
up my
done.
spine.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Beautifully done, Lisa. Thank you. Thank you. Well
Thanks
done.
for guiding me. That was awesome.
Okay, so now what we need to do, once you get to that re-scripted part,
Yeah.
is practice that now.
Okay.
Okay. So you
Yep.
can either, I like to practice it when my brain's uh, in that theatre state, that unconscious state, which is first thing in the morning, last thing at night before you fall asleep. That's when your brain is going to really take that on and make those
Okay.
deep, deep changes. So you
Okay.
just
So
close
just,
your eyes and you just
yeah.
step into it again. Oh, there I am in the creek. My dad's there for me, is holding on to me, and I'm going towards him. I did it, full of confidence, empowered. He's so proud of me. Look at the look on his face. He's beaming with pride, and I feel that feeling in my body. Okay,
Yep.
but that
Okay.
just took 2 minutes, right, to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you do that as many times throughout the day as you can. I like to just, making a cup of tea, I sit down, I close my eyes, and I just go into it again. So what we're doing now is
Yeah.
when we went to the memory, it was so long ago, and yet all those emotions were buried deep down inside of you, still there, right? As raw as it happened yesterday, just there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've got a little piece of paper in your, is that meant to be there?
Oh, that's a sticky note. Thank you.
Out on your head.
I'm growing paper. Okay, sorry. Just
Okay, so so let's anyone there have any questions about that? Did anybody choose a memory and work through it yourself? This is a good opportunity to ask any questions. You can just unmute yourself if you need to. And remember, whatever, all questions are good questions and they're going to help other people.
I have two, but if somebody wants to go before me, that's fine.
Go, go ahead while they're thinking about it.
Okay, so the first one that came up when we were doing that, and I was um feeling all my emotions around my dad's life. Can some of this stuff that we carry, this heaviness of all these emotions, can that be inherited trauma from them that they haven't
Yes.
processed it? So
Oh,
we're carrying it.
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And the book that I always recommend is It Didn't Start With You.
Heard of that
It's a
book, yeah.
really good book. It's about generational trauma.
Yeah.
I realized that with myself very early on. I didn't know what it was at the time. This was probably, 30 years ago. I I just carried this deep, deep sadness inside of me, like a deep loss, and I could never figure out what that was. I was like, why? You've got everything, you've got a good job, you've got a partner, and blah, blah, blah. Why would you be feeling this emptiness kind of feeling?
Yeah.
And then years later, when I started to learn about generational trauma,
Yeah.
and Dr. Gabor Mate is my go-to for that as well. He talks so much about this,
Okay.
and yeah, we carry that in ourselves,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. But
Because it feels
we
like
we can change
a lot
that
of work.
because
Okay.
they're still memories. The generational trauma is still memories,
Okay.
right? Because I can often ask someone, what happened to your father? You knew you did that beautifully. And when you do that, we also heal them. That's
Okay.
my belief, is that we
Okay.
also heal them when we do
Right.
that, when we forgive them, when we understand why they did what they did. I mean, I would like my children to do that for me, to
Right.
understand that I was in pain, that I was deeply wounded. And that's why sometimes I did the things that I did and said the things that I said.
Right.
I hope that they will understand that and find that forgiveness in their heart for me. So,
So does that
this,
mean we have to, in addition to our own memories and trauma, that we then also have to do their
if
memories?
if you identify, say for example, um, yeah, I've spoken with people and they say, yeah, my dad had this enormous traumas and
Yeah.
his dad did. and his dad did. And they go back like 5, 6 generations. They know the history, they know the story. My
Right.
great great grandfather was in the war, and this happened to him. And he came home and he was angry all the time. And that's why my grandfather was like this. And that's why my dad's like this.
Right.
So they're all memories. If we know them, we carry them, just like I know about my family. My family were indentured labourers, they were like slaves. So they went through a lot of trauma. So,
Yeah.
yes, I heal that. I worked on that and I healed it because they're all still memories. The
Agree.
generational trauma are memories that we carry within us because we've been told them, we've read about them. Like, I have a book here that's been written about the indentured labourers. And
Yeah.
when I read that, it brings up a lot of stuff for me to work
Right.
on. I go,
Right.
okay, I need to still work on release those emotions that I'm holding on to about that, thinking about my great great grandparents and what they might have gone through.
Right.
So our imagination is the smartest part of us. It's our imagination. It was your imagination that just did that whole process.
Yeah.
Okay. You imagine what it was like when you were 5 or 6, but it was all there, still living in your body, in those emotions.
Mm.
So, great question, Lisa. Generational trauma, absolutely. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, you're talking about the memories and what you've learned, but also, is it not like a physiological thing? So if my father has suppressed all his feelings, all this sadness into his cells before he ever,
Mhm.
before they conceived me, I mean, isn't that go into the DNA and into the cells as
Yeah,
well?
but when you do this emotional work,
Yeah.
that changes your DNA. It
Yeah.
changes your cells. It
Yeah.
changes your genes.
Yeah.
Truly.
Amazing
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very powerful. Very powerful.
Thank
I,
you.
I would recommend, everyone do it before they have children if I could.
Yeah.
And I do sometimes now,
Yeah.
worked with several women who are, wanting to fall pregnant and they're wanting to heal all their wounds before they have a baby. It's
Right.
amazing. If you know it, do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else? Donna doesn't have any questions. That's great.
I do have another one, but
Anybody, particularly if anybody worked on a memory themselves, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Um,
Anything else, Lisa? You had another one?
yes, but I think Kylie just unmuted. So
oh, look, I don't have a question, but I was just going to give a massive thank you to Lisa. Like that was, yeah, very insightful for me because it just really helped me to see how I've got big walls up, like seeing you able to connect with your emotions like that, like was, yeah, like goals for me because I find it quite hard to connect with my emotions. Yeah, just seeing that in real time was very powerful for me. So yeah, thank you so much for that, Lisa. That was amazing.
I'm very emotional, so
Fantastic.
for me, I'm the opposite. I feel everything too
And
much.
Yeah, but no, it was amazing. Like I tend to underfeel, and I know that, that's something that I need to work on because it's like protective mechanisms that are in there. So, yeah, it was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate
and
that. And thank
she's
you, Lisa.
amazing. And Kylie, often it's safer to do it in this kind of safe environment, that we,
Yeah.
we know we're going to be guided. We know we're going to be okay. We know we're going to come through it. I don't think I've ever done this with anybody where they haven't felt amazing afterwards. Never, ever. You always, and what I would encourage you to do is just start on really minor ones so that your brain knows that you're safe. Start off with a
Yeah.
very small one and just practice feeling your emotions. Just practice feeling them. And the more safety you bring to feeling those emotions, the more you'll be able to do it. Okay.
Yeah. Because I feel like it felt so unsafe for so many decades to feel feelings that you then just like you skip the feeling part and just, just
Layers. Can I
yeah.
can I
So
ask can I ask you, do you have children?
yeah, I do.
do you let your children feel their feelings?
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
start doing that for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Start giving that to your inner child, to yourself.
Yeah.
The same love with the same compassion,
Yeah.
same care.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will
Because
do.
you deserve that. You deserve that.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
And if we want to be well, if we want to be healthy, we want to be strong, we want to feel empowered, we've got to do the emotional work. It's
Yeah.
just the key to this healing, you know. I can't tell you how much, you know, Dr. Schubner talks about that in every training we have. We've got to deal with the emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just add, Kylie, for me, like, you know, about nervous system dysregulation, emotions, I'm also dealing with some tick-borne infections that are impacting my brain nervous system. So I have been, it's getting better, but very dysregulated emotionally and like kind of all over the place. And so I've done a lot of brain retraining, somatic work, vagus work. So that's why I kind of, sometimes it can be scary to feel your emotions because you don't know how to regulate them when they come up. So I have had some, you know, some skills and tools that I can sort of tap into to kind of, you know, and then with somebody facilitating it helps guide that process, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I probably have similar, like I've been doing the brain retraining and the somatics and all the
Oh,
mind
good.
body work for like a good couple of years. But even when I try to do journaling, like it's a bit, you know, vanilla. Like even when I try to give myself permission to just like, you know, Nicole Sachs style, like just go for it. Yeah, like it's yeah, not overly emotional, but I know that you know
Yes.
what I mean, like there's just these blockers there. So yeah, it was just really interesting to see someone that is better able to kind of work through some of those walls. Yeah.
I love that
Good,
we help each
good.
other, right? And watch
Yeah.
them learn different things from them. So it's all,
Yeah, exactly. Thank
yeah,
you.
you'll get there.
And
Yes.
anyone else? Any
I do have another
questions?
question. I do have another question. If that's, uh, did you have any question? Kylie, were you finished? Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh yeah, no, I'm finished. Thank you.
I did have one other question, Lolita, about when we were doing the process, you know, how in that moment, there was like that fear of dying, you know, like kind of
Mm,
going down, drowning, whatever, fear of dying. So
yes.
I'm sure a lot of people with these chronic conditions, with all these symptoms at times, we have often felt like I'm not going to make it, like
Yes.
feeling like I'm dying. So could that be kind of like carried over from that? And so,
Ab- Absolutely. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's
That's why.
that's the thing. And then anytime there's any kind of threat to my body, I think I'm going to die because I've experienced
Yes.
that already.
You've ex- that's right, because your brain still has that reference in the
Okay,
unconscious,
okay.
right? Because not
That's why.
everyone with a chronic illness has that
No,
same feeling,
no,
those same thoughts. And
right,
why is that? Because they've actually experienced that in the past, or they've
right,
watched somebody else dying, watched
right,
somebody else drowning.
right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then
So
that comes up again, like, you know, when I'm doing my treatments for my allostatic load, and there's times where the pain's intense, you know, the cytokine storm, whatever. And if I'm feeling that, would it be helpful in those moments to do that script of feeling safe, like that script that you told me to practice and do, rescripting? Would that also help in those situations, or is that not
that
related?
that's just with that memory,
Okay,
right? And
okay.
and you said when you were doing that, other memories came up. I'm not sure if that happened to other people who were here, that other memories start lining up. So what I think would help you more is to do those other memories.
Okay.
Okay?
There weren't other
Because
memories
they
of dying. There were more other memories of um not being able to have a voice in how I feel and being dismissed and whatever. There were more of
Yeah,
that.
I think
Yeah.
I think the link that your brain made there was that feeling of drowning, the feeling of I'm sinking, because when you were talking about it, your head went down like
Oh,
that, like you
okay.
were sinking. So that's now a feeling that your brain has access to as danger, as alert. So
Okay.
if this happens to me now, and I'm feeling like I'm drowning, I'm feeling like I'm not being seen, not being heard, not being supported, then that's what's being triggered.
Is that memory?
That's right.
Oh, okay.
So once you clear any other memories of where you've had that sinking feeling, that drowning feeling,
Yep.
then eventually that feeling will dissipate. You'll feel less of that. And
Okay.
you'll feel more empowered. You'll feel more strength. You'll feel more resilience. Oh, I can do this. I've got this. I can do this. Yeah.
That's
But
just
as
great.
far as being triggered in the moment with anything, I would use those other tools and exercises that I shared with the UK group. You can go to that video on YouTube. There's 3 exercises there that I did with people, that you
And
can
which,
use one of those or any of the tools that you already have.
yeah, which video was that? Like how long ago? Because
Oh, just a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.